Connor, I know you like feet, but you know what really gets me going?
What's that, buddy?
Statistics.
Ah, I guess you are a
Yeah,
bank manager.
Yeah, pretty
I
much.
do. I
Um,
do love statistics.
so we're gonna look at a little bit of statistics tonight on the Vox Cascadia podcast. Welcome back, gentlemen. Connor, how you doing, bud?
Doing all right. It was a bit of a hectic weekend, but thankfully everything's all good now, so can't complain too much. And I'm hopping on a plane in like 12 hours, so that'll be fun.
Where are you going?
We're going out to Minnesota. We're visiting the Sierra's brother and his girlfriend, so that'll be pretty fun. We're there for like 5 days over in the Twin Cities, so I'm excited. We get to take her to the Mall of America. That's always a fun time.
Are
Have
you
you?
taking hobby stuff with you?
I might. We have a pretty stacked schedule. Sierra and her family, or particularly her brother and her, are the type that when they plan a trip, there's like an itinerary. So we'll see.
Sounds like my kind of trip. Actually, I'm all about like what are we doing? What are we doing? It. So you traveled with me. You should know.
It's
So
true. You were very organized, and anyone that knows me knows I am very much in all aspects, not even just organizational. Play it by the whims of fate.
yeah, we can't even get you to take a shit in less than 45 minutes.
Listen, that's a whole different thing.
You know,
Tyler, how about you? I know you had a pretty pretty tough weekend, but how you doing,
yeah,
bud?
I'm doing all right. We had a memorial service for my aunt that passed. It was like a nice celebration of life, gathering a family. So, I got to see some family like I haven't seen in a minute, and that was nice. And just like reminisce. It was overall like positive and uplifting, I would say. But like Connor, I relate, man. I do everything by my gut. Like my entire life is lived by my gut from moment to moment.
Yeah, gut feeling just works for me. And there, I hate to use it as a quote because the quote itself is kind of like a particular burn of the character. But I love the show Archer. You know, the great spy show, the fortunately named spy agency of ISIS, which definitely didn't age poorly. There's a fantastic quote in it where Archer, for anyone that knows, he doesn't plan anything. And there's a quote where two of the characters, they've been like stuck in the Brazilian rainforest with him, and everything's just going to shit. And they're like, "Why aren't you worried about this?" And he's like, "Why bother worrying or thinking about things in the future that may or may not happen? Just worry about what's going on right now and react to it then." And I don't like that. I kind of relate to that quote so much because I'm like,
Ooh.
Archer's not necessarily a role model, but he does have his positive moments.
Yeah, I mean, like I relate to that, but also ooh, like as I get older, I feel it more. You know?
Yeah, I'm still young enough, I guess, that I can claim ignorance, but I've got maybe another year or two before I'm like, all right, I got to figure out what a 401k is and whether or not I need to be paying this whole taxes thing.
Bro, if you're not doing contributing your 401k already, as the
It's
bank
too late.
manager and dumb young person that I was who didn't start contributing to my 401k till I was like 33, you need to get on that shit like yesterday.
Well, I'm only 27, so if I do it
You're
next year, I'm 5 years
nope.
ahead
Too
of you.
Get
late.
on it. Get on it right now, dude.
Yeah, I probably
Yeah.
should.
Yeah.
I'm doing the
It's free money, dude.
I'm doing the TSP or whatever that is, which is something similar, but I should probably do the 401k too.
The trust savings plan.
Is that? I thought it was like thrift savings plan,
Thrift
but yeah,
savings plan, yeah. Do the 401k too. Especially if Uncle Sam's going to match it because it's just free money that you're throwing away. So you can peel off like 5% of your paycheck. You probably won't even see the difference. You don't need insulin anyways. And
yeah, totally. I mean, as we all know, Mr. RFK Jr. I just need to eat healthy, and my diabetes will go away. What
yeah.
a guy!
Have you
So
thought about
it's
just like eating vegetables instead of taking insulin?
You know, the worst part is I was actually an extremely healthy eater as like a kid before I got diabetes. So, like, most kids, you ask them what they want for like dinner, and most kids would say like pizza or McDonald's or like hot dogs or some shit. Apparently, as a child, I asked for salad or fruit like 99% of the time,
I
and
mean,
God struck me down for my hubris.
fruit is high in sugar,
It
basically a
is, but it's not
soda.
like the sugar that would get you like
No, not
diabetes.
for sure. Like
That's
I've
what you get.
overindulged, like myself. You've taken the punishment for me, Connor. I have somehow avoided diabetes despite living off of energy drinks.
Oh, energy. I guess, yeah, normal energy drink. See, I don't know because I'm always getting the diets now, but I'm just saying it's God's way of nerfing me because if I had this amount of ego without any sort of like diabetes, I would be dangerous for like how full of myself I'd be.
That's true. God taking you down a notch for one, not wanting chicken nuggets all the time as a kid, as well as two, just got to balance you out somehow. So
Exactly. My exorbitant sexiness, intelligence, humor, and most importantly, my humility. Like those are my best qualities, you know? So the diabetes had to balance it out.
I'm gonna figure out how to edit that to make you sound like a bigger douchebag than you are. So
Oh, please don't.
I'm just kidding. Uh, so last episode, by the way, you had a amazing introduction, which I don't think was appreciated as much as it should have been by the community. If you have a chance, like pat Connor on the back because it was amazing.
Thanks,
Uh,
buddy.
Even edited in the audio for it.
I did notice the music. That was fun. We're never getting sponsors.
I mean, it was free. It was free, for royalty free crap on the internet because it
Oh,
sounds like.
really?
It was free download at least. So I don't know if it was
Okay.
royalty free. So as soon
Yeah, I
as
don't know
like
about that, but
when Paramount and Skydance come suing me for Mission Impossible, then we'll know.
maybe
So
we'll get to meet Tom Cruise.
yeah, maybe he'll like jump out of a plane to serve me with papers
I
for
wouldn't
using
mind getting served lawsuit papers if they parachute out of a plane. That'd at least be more fun than like them knocking on your door.
So
What
speaking of people,
what operative would Tom Cruise be? Like in any of the kill teams? Like if he had to be one of them, who would he be?
Commando Grot.
Yeah, that's a good one. Or like he's got his band of merry men, so maybe like a Phobos sergeant of some kind, or like straight up commando sergeant, because like each one of the IMF agents has their specialty, like the orc team.
Yeah, but he's also like 4 feet tall.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I mean, you
his
nailed.
presence makes him taller.
No, no, it doesn't.
I mean,
Like,
Commando Grot. He's zipping around the board. You know.
yeah, absolutely. Like I was gonna give him like at least like a Quillon, like because he always like parachuting out of stuff. But like you nailed it right there, Chuck. He's definitely Commando Grot.
Who's like the fastest operative? He might be them because he's always
Commando
running.
Grot.
Like even outside of the Mission Impossible movies, he runs in like 9 out of 10 of his movies.
I think like the Shader Runner is probably the
Yeah,
fastest operative.
that could be them, or like
No, he's gonna be that rattling that does the like Bionic Commando bullshit.
oh, with the zip line.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Did you ever play Bionic Commando, Connor?
Fuck yeah,
In,
dude.
in the arcade?
No, no, maybe then. It's not ringing a bell. The closest thing that's ringing a bell is Bionicle.
Bionicle? No,
No,
sir.
Bionic
Hey,
Commando.
those are cool too.
They are
Bionicle
cool,
had
but like
Green
not
Day
the
or
same.
something in their commercials.
Tyler, did you ever the Bionic Commando remake? The like
Oh
third
man,
person shooter?
third. I didn't play the third person shooter. I played the 2D side scrolling remake on like Xbox 360. I want to say.
I think it's
And
the
then
same
then there
one,
was
I
the
think.
third. Yeah, and then it came out a little bit later. There was like a full 3D one, and I never played the 3D one because like
Have you ever
Fallout New Vegas was coming out, and I had built a new PC, and I was fully consumed by that.
I spoiler alert. So the story behind Bionic Commando and his arm, like in the new one, the like 3D one, apparently, y'all can fast forward if you don't want to hear this for a 10-year-old game that nobody's ever gonna play.
Dude, it's 20 years old now.
The new one?
Yeah, like basically,
Holy
it's
shit.
probably like
So
18.
well, like I saw this on I think Game Rakes or something. The spirit of his like dead wife is in his arm or something.
That's like some Kojima kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like it. That or like straight out of Metal Gear, honestly.
Yeah, it's Kojima.
Kojima.
Speaking of Kojima, did either of you play Death Stranding?
No, I didn't.
No, I did not.
I watched a bunch of videos on it this weekend because Nick was down and I had to explain to Nick what Death Stranding was, and I couldn't actually do it. And we just watched like trailers for that. Or we watched some like breakdowns of the game and then trailers for the new one, and that just like it's just like a fever dream. It's just like
100%. I love one of my favorite things to do, like especially like late at night when I'm cuddled up with my cats, is like put on a random lore video from like some obscure setting. And like I've definitely like watched the Death Stranding ones. Can I recall any of it? No. It all blends together with Metal Gear, like at some point, which is reasonable because Metal Gear doesn't really make any sense. But like, yeah, like it's definitely a fever dream. All of Kojima's games are a fever dream. Like, did you guys play Metal Gear Solid 5?
Yes, I played by half of it maybe.
The 2 hour cutscene?
It was yeah, it was
It
uh it
was
was
it
weird.
was it was insane. Like, I mean, like, but that's like not even like the weirdest thing to ever happen in like Metal Gear. Like I played like Snake Eater, and I played Metal Gear Solid, and I played Metal Gear Solid 2. Um, but like there's a lot of like standout weirdness in his games.
There's a guy on YouTube I watch. His name's Video Game Donkey, and he does just kind of funny video game videos. And I started to watch it today. He was explaining Metal Gear because there's like 10, 12 games, and they jump back and forth, and characters are the same characters, but they're also different characters, and they're also related, but they're not related. It's like Charlie at the whiteboard craziness in all of those Metal Gear games. And Metal Gear Solid 3 is actually getting a remake. It's coming out this summer. Snake Eater's getting a remake.
Do you eat a snake in it?
I mean, I assume it's Snake Eater. Tyler, you played Snake Eater. Do you eat a snake in it? That was one I didn't play.
Tyler was just silenced by Kojima
Pretty
or
much.
by a snake.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Um,
you can eat snakes in it. I had myself on mute and didn't even realize. But like, yeah, most definitely, it is possible to eat snakes in Snake Eater. Just like it's possible to like outweight a boss. Like there's this one boss that like dies if you just like wait.
yeah, the like old guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, never played it, but I've seen videos on it. Um, so speaking of weird secret agents, how was Mission Impossible, Connor?
I sadly couldn't see it. We had a bit of a medical emergency on the day we were going to go, and so that took precedence.
Wow, sounds like a cop out to me.
No,
So
I wanted to go. Unfortunately, Sierra was dying, so we had to go to urgent care. Thankfully, everything is all okay now, uh, and nothing too major. But she's not here, so I can't ask if she's okay with me sharing her hip. You're not dead. You weren't in the room, so I don't want to ask. I didn't want to violate HIPAA
Necromancy.
laws.
Necromancy. I
I can
hear
still
her.
hear her voice before she
Uh,
left this mortal plane.
absolutely. What did you
But
do,
yeah,
Connor?
no, I didn't do it. I would never. If anything, she'd kill me. But no, sadly, we haven't been able to see it. So I'm hoping to go maybe when we're in Minnesota, find an IMAX theater there.
I mean, they got to have it at the Mall of America, right?
I don't know. That's what I'm figuring.
You should take a kill team with you.
I'm gone.
Take Jason Fay from Just Another Kill Team podcasts out in Minnesota area. I think.
Oh, I thought you meant there's a story. Yeah, I mean that's not a bad idea. I'll just have to see if there's time to. I have to look at the schedule.
Just make it happen, Connor. Okay, you're a young and reckless. Just fly by the seat of your pants and get a game in. Well, you didn't see Mission Impossible, so we'll have to get a recap of that later. But speaking of actual kill team, there was team games played. So I wanted to talk about some stats. There's a couple of different tournaments I want to kind of highlight, and then also Candy Roll Crit put out his May stats show, and there's just kind of some interesting numbers in there. So first off, a local Portland event we had Grill Team, Emily and I think it was also Hunter were put on little backyard kill team action. I think it was like 16 players and some interesting results. So in first place you had Ivan Small. It was a 3-round tournament. Ivan Small with Blooded. Second place you had Nick Herndon with Wormblade. Both of those were undefeated. Wiley Craven with Chaos Cult was 2-0-1, and Matt Small with Vespid Stingwings 2-1. Almost took the whole thing down. But lost in the final round, it looks like. And then you had CB was there with Gellerpox, and you had also another Stingwings player at 2-1 as well too with Hazel. So Owen was there with their Void Dancers, and then Chris Dunshee came in eighth with Goremongers. So um, we also had up at Comics Keep, we had another tournament that I believe had some Vested Stinglings too. So another smaller tournament. I think it was like 9 players or so. But you had Sam Holland first with Nemesis Claw. Brandon Bean was up there with Commandos 2-1 and took second place. But Alejandro Munoz had Vespids and they were 2-1 as well too. So gentlemen, do you think we're seeing like a resurgence? Do you think the Stingwings buffs actually made a difference, or is this small tournament one-offs?
You know,
Vespid's new OP.
I mean, like, I would love that for that to be the case. I definitely think we have like one case of like the player, with Brandon Bean, you know, playing
No,
Vespid.
Brandon was on Commandos.
Oh, he was on Commandos.
Alejandro. It is worth
Al-
noting Alejandro and
Alejandro's very
Brandon
good. Play a lot.
tied technically, even though
Yeah.
they're listed separately. Grant, who was running it, noticed and pointed out they had the exact same strength of schedule and tournament score, so technically they should have tied.
Okay, so like very close. Like, but like we have some very good players playing Vespid at the moment. Matt is also incredibly good. Um, and then we also have some people playing like branching out to new teams at these events. So like not playing their optimal picks or far from it at this point. I do think Vespids pose a threat, especially if you underestimate them and they get some really hot rolls, like that red saturation does some stuff, like it'll definitely take you down.
I do also want to highlight from the Comics Keep tournament, friend of the show, Patreon, a top tier donator, Zarin. Zarin brought Goremongers, and Zarin put up a very, very Connor like performance with Goremongers, going 0-3. So,
Okay.
I mean,
Connor, like I had a positive win rate through all of my Kill Team tournaments. This is the most recent two, not so much.
yeah, but that's what we're talking about is the most recent two.
That's not.
So, we love you, Zarin, and maybe Tyler, you got any tips for Zarin on Goremongers? I don't know if you've had a chance since we kind of debriefed a little bit after the last tournament. I wonder if you've
Mm.
kind of. I know you've had a busy week. I wonder if you've been noodling on them a little bit. Any tech that you maybe thought about?
I mean, like, I think you just gotta you gotta go all in. Um, it's really like it's hard to nail down specific tech because I'm very much like I said earlier. I play by my gut. At any given moment, sometimes I'll pull out some like weird plays that people maybe won't expect, or like out of they would count as out of order, stuff like that, to secure like future goals. But like it's really just like you got to lean into them, you got to not be afraid, and you got to roll hot. Like rolling good always does good for like putting you at the top tables. Killing your enemies. Like what can't scoring crits do for you?
And then Connor, do you have any advice for Zarin on how to take that over tournament and turn it into a positive?
Remain a positive attitude. Roll really well, and ask Brandon Bean for some advice.
Well, I'm sure Brandon would have some information for Zarin, but we love you, Zarin. Just giving you a little ribbon. I'm sure it's you probably just ran him out. So there also was a bigger tournament over in jolly old England. The LWG Kill Team Season 2 tournament was 53 players, so much bigger tournament. Still a 4-round tournament, so not like a 2-day GT or anything. And this had some interesting finishes up on it too. So John Reese, can you really crit? Brood Brothers at 4-0, Bart Lewandowski on Brood Brothers at 4-0, John Burgess at Higher Tech Circle 4-0, Ryan Slater on Football Strike Team 4-0, and then Sanctifiers 3-1, Plague Marines 3-1, Nemesis Claw 3-1. So we've heard it in the wins that Brood Brothers maybe have some tech and they maybe have a little bit more staying power now. So, and I mean that's a 53 player tournament with some pretty good names, like everybody in the top four. I recognize everybody in the top four there. So kind of makes me want to bust out the Brood Brothers. Tyler, you were kicking around doing Brood Brothers, or you're redoing your Brood Brothers, right?
Yeah. So I've decided, like, in a rare occasion for me, to strip down my Brood Brothers and restart with a new paint scheme. I just wasn't feeling in the direction I was going. Um, it was like, it was all right. Like, when I look at them, like, I feel okay about them, but like, I think the new color scheme's gonna like pop, especially because I really enjoy painting with a limited palette. You know.
So can you just kind of fill us in what was the old look, and then what are you going for the new look?
The old look was kind of like there was some purple and some like tealish and some grays in there, and a little bit of metallics. And then this new one, it's going to be a little bit more limited. I think I'm going to go kind of like peach red, some like variation in between there, and then some teals for like a high contrast on part of it. So also with some like bronzes in there to like fill out the metallics.
Now, is this a fully painted team that you're stripping down, or was it just a couple models, or
A couple models, like it was like in progress, like I could never, like, when I started, I never like really like felt the paint job, um, and like it was just never conceptually like complete. And then I had a couple more models I need to kit bash. So like I think I started painting too soon on it ultimately, and then like the paint scheme kind of like wore me down on it, because normally I would just paint over the top of it.
now we've got Tacoma coming up in 45 days actually from this recording. So, is this
Was just
something
that.
you're yeah,
That
45 days.
that's
Oh
great.
boy.
So, yeah, is this team you're just poking around on for some hobby stuff, or are you riding goremongers into Tacoma, or do you have any idea?
I mean, like, goremongers are not my team for Tacoma, unless like I just like don't get any games in between now and Tacoma. I'd probably take them, or like nothing changes in the game. But otherwise, I plan on taking a different team, one way or another.
Do you know which team it will be?
I mean, like, I'm going to be hopping and throwing down some repetitions. Like Brood Brothers. I wanna play my Sanctifiers a little bit. I worked too hard to not play them. Definitely like harder than my Goremongers. My Goremongers came together in like 24 hours. Like when I started painting them, whereas like my Sanctifiers like took a week. Which is still pretty fast, but like, um, like it just like wasn't as smooth. And then like we'll see like with my Brood Brothers, and then I'm gonna start on my Plague Marines here soon. I just need to pick up another kit to like finish up what I want to do with them.
What are you doing for your Plague Marines?
I mean, like they'll just be chaos in general, Nurgle, but like maybe like a little less drippy than
So
some
not
of
so
the.
much like Death Guard, but just like Nurgle Marines.
Yeah, they'll be Nurgle Marines. They'll probably be like Death Guard, but like, my own grimdark take on them without like less drippy. Hopefully, more. I want to lean more into the horror aspect of the Death Guard. Like the relentless marching of them.
So, Canyon Roller Crit has his stat show up today, and a couple of things. One little area that I like, it's kind of about where most of our tournaments sit. So I think it'd be interesting for our people is just kind of taking and looking at GT long win rates. So 30 plus players, 5 rounds. So this would be like a Tacoma, and LVO. So through May, at the top of the table, you still have Legionaries, 66% win rate. Pathfinders popped back up at 65%, basically. Sanctifiers are hanging out at 63, Phobos at 61, Hyrotech are 57, Novitiates are also still 57. Only 7 games, though. Chaos Cults back up at 55. I thought they were dead and buried. And then Warp Covenant 53, 54, basically. Plague Marines at 53, Nemesis Claw 54. Um, so or 53 and a half. So Pathfinders have jumped back up. They were bottom of the barrel for the last couple things, and then they got their data slate buffs, and it seems like people are bringing them back out, and they're getting some wins now. So do you guys see the Pathfinder Menace continuing on for a couple months at least?
I mean, I definitely think they have some teeth now. The buff is like pretty substantial, and they play fairly differently than any of the teams we've seen at the top now. If you're not prepared for the fight, I definitely think they can put the hurt on you.
And then from the 16 player 4 round tournaments, one thing that's really interesting to me is Inquisition is only at like a 20% win rate, and it doesn't look like many people are playing them. And I feel like at the start of this edition, they were pretty hot. And I mean, they got nerfed a little bit. What, they can only take one AP2 weapon now, they can't take a bunch, but they've just been like, everybody's just gone away from them.
I think that within the recon trooper for Cassian kind of killed them. And I also think they're just a very difficult team to field. You have to, have a decent amount of boxes if you really want all the options and stuff. Mixed in with just other new hotness coming out. I imagine a lot of people that enjoyed Inquisition probably are trying out Sanctifiers. So I think they're a team that's just, due to the nature of them, not going to attract a ton of players. And those that had the team were probably playing it because they were a very competitive and strong team, and then dropped them once those nerfs hit.
Speaking of Cassian still hanging out at like 25% win rate with
Hey, let's go, bottom barrel team. Woo woo.
yeah, still above Hunter Clade though.
I don't want to talk about it.
Actually, they're not. I take that back.
What are Hunter Clade at?
For 16 players, 4+ rounds, Hunter Clade are at 35%, 10 games.
Woo!
And Casterkin are at 25% with 16 games. So jumping all over the place with the stat stuff. If you guys want like a real deep dive into it, I'd go check out Can You Roll a Crits video. He always goes way deeper into it than we ever could imagine. So some stats for us though. Stats on the podcast. So since we're on RSS, we can see who, what, and where. We have your social security number, your bank account number for downloading the show. We really appreciate that. So if you see money missing, that's on Connor. But no, we just to give you some Vox Cascadia stats. 52% of our listeners are in the US. We have almost 17% in the UK, 6.5% in Germany, 6.13% in our neighbors to the north who hate us now in Canada, 5.2% in Australia, 2.23% in Austria. Throw another trip on the Barbie. Netherlands is almost 2%.
Did you say 1%. Austria or Australia?
I said both, yes.
Okay.
It's a joke from Dumb and Dumber.
So, I see.
1% in Denmark, 1% in Mexico, almost 1% in France. Congratulations, PSG, on your Champions League victory. And then we got Spain, Poland, Hong Kong, and Thailand too. So if you're in those countries, one, how'd you find us? And thanks for listening. And two, just thanks for listening. Let us know where you're from. We've got the breakdown of cities, and I was kind of looking through that. I'm not going to go through all that, but thank you for wherever you're listening to us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really cool, to know that we can reach out and hopefully help you feel like you have community. Here in the kill team scene in the U.S.
I think it's kind of wild that almost 17% of our listeners are from the UK. So
absolutely. So it's a hellhole here, but we love you guys, and we hope that times are better to where you can freely come visit.
Yeah, it's going to be real easy to get World Cup tickets this upcoming year, since nobody's going to want to come to the U.S. So I'll be able to get. That's maybe the only good piece is that people don't want to travel here because we're going to detain them. So I can get easy World Cup tickets.
Let's go soccer! Woo! Silver lining. Everything is falling apart.
So while we are persistently living in the grimdark of the current future, let's talk about some characters from the 40K universe that are our favorites. So there's a very wide range of characters. We are all kind of lore nerds on one level or another, and we all like to read the books. So Tyler, you got a favorite character? Just start off with one.
So I have to say, recently after reading Elemental Council, which I highly recommend, it's a Tau book. Don't let that dissuade you. The Space Marine in it, Artemax, is badass. When they talk about a single Space Marine being able to like change the course of a war, um, or like a squad of Space Marines, or like a company, and you like don't like it doesn't make any sense. And then you read Elemental Council, which all of the Tau in that are exceptionally gifted. Like they're they're not like they're not blown up to levels of like Shadow Sun or like Farsight or anything like that. But like they're very talented warriors. Okay, and the way that this one Space Marine changes the entire war for this planet against the Tau is like, ooh, he is so vicious. He is so brutal, and he is like he's just like an incredible character. I think he's my favorite Space Marine, honestly. Like just the single best portrayal of like the ultimate potential of like what a Space Marine can be, and like why they're such a force multiplier, you know.
Connor, what about you? You got a favorite? And actually, I'm gonna have to read the Elemental Council. So right now, actually, Audible's having their spring sale, so books are on sale super cheap. If you're, I think you have to be a Audible Plus member or whatever. So maybe I'll have to see how much that one is and throw it in my queue there. But what about you, Connor?
Right now, probably Dominion Zephon from Heresy era. He's like a Blood Angels guy who goes on to found a chapter during the third founding. He gets killed like 2 or 3 times, but brought back by Arkan Land, which is like the guy that made the Land Raider and all that. That which is kind of stupid, but whatever. But he's just a really fun Blood Angels character because like he's all cyborgs, so I love him. But then he's got like the chapter serfs that are a very fun aspect to like signify what it's like being a unstoppable killing machine, but still trying to have this like human aspect of being an artisan and everything, while dealing with the fact that your body will always be replaced with tools to continue the fact that you are still an unstoppable killing machine.
So I have the Dominion Zephyr. I actually have two of that model. I had no idea about him. I just got him because he was a super cool looking Blood Angel guy.
He is a cool looking
My
Blood Angel.
have you ever seen my Dante that I made out of him?
I don't think so.
I'll have to send you pictures. So before they came out with the new Dante, probably like a year before, maybe I actually kit bashed the Dante out of that character because the I have the old one. I have the old metal one because I'm Blood Angels fanboy. So it's cool to hear that. Unlike Tyler? What's the lady from that stupid Sisters of Battle book who's got a super cool model and a really crappy story?
Like fucking, I don't even.
No one
It's
remembers her name because it wasn't a good book.
demon. It's like demon ho, like demon
Demon
slayer.
Breaker.
Did you say demon?
Demon
It's
breaker.
Demon Ho.
Yeah, I
Demon
was gonna
Ho.
say host, but like it's so bad. Like it's so bad.
Yeah, it's I like I said, and we can bring it back, but that was the book that killed
Hmm.
Chuck's book club. So
Absolutely, it
I think
was
we need to
that bad.
resurrect it. By the way, I just picked up Elemental Council for $6, the audiobook. So
Man,
I got
you're
like
in for a
7 hours
treat.
left in I got like
It's
7 hours left in Dungeon Crawler Carl's book 7, and then I've got like
then
3 books queued up, so we'll see which that one gets in first.
three books. This is 17 hours of like the best like Black Library. Like honestly, Elemental Council is probably my favorite Black Library book. Like I will vouch for it like on the credits of like just like an overall the way it sets um the combat zone and like the characters and like the little nods to other pieces of lore in there, and like Artemax, like I said, is probably like the single coolest fucking Space Marine. He's just like, I can't go on enough about him. I can't wait for you guys to like read about him, and like because like no one's read this book. It's like me and like a dozen other people, probably a couple hundred realistically around the world. Um, and like no one's talking about like what a badass Artemax is.
Yeah, never even heard of it until you started talking about it. So
Same.
yeah,
Also, speaking of books, Chuck, I do have some bad news. Dungeon Crawler dungeon crawl. Carl, the wonderful gift you got me has moved down one slot because yesterday I found out that Michael Mann made a sequel to the movie Heat in book form, and so I went today and picked that up for my airplane
It,
ride.
Oh,
did you?
did
Was it
Michael
that hentai
Mann?
book you got?
No, I went with Heat 2, not whatever the other one was, but I
Yeah.
did like searching Heat 2, and the first two top responses were, yeah, some sort of, anime hentai Yuri looking book, and then Heat 2 by Michael Mann, and another author whose name I'm blanking on right now because I'm a bad person.
So, one, did Michael Mann autograph your book and customize it for your
No, he
specific
is not.
fetish? Okay.
Maybe if I ever meet him.
Two, so where is it at in the queue now then?
It's gone from position 2 to position 3.
Okay, hold on one second. Like, so this was on Amazon, right? That you were looking?
No, Barnes and Noble. I had checked
Barnes
Amazon,
and
but
Noble. Okay.
there was no way I was going to get it before I left for the trip. So
Okay, hold on one second. But
So,
continue on.
since this is a audio medium, when Connor tried to look up Heat 2 and got
on the
like
Barnes and Noble
weird
search,
anime.
yeah, on
I feel like
the
that's one of those like it's more your
Okay.
algorithm and less
Okay.
theirs.
I mean, maybe I don't
S-
really go on. I don't read manga or anime though.
okay, so I will clear you on this one because, like, when I searched Amazon, which was the first place I thought you were looking, I did not get the
What is this called? The
the
Anemoine
hentai.
feels the heat too.
Yeah, the hentai
Yeah,
that you were getting suggested. But when I did go to the Barnes and Noble site, I did get that hentai when I
yeah.
searched.
I
So
mean, because
that,
it has heat 2 in the title as well. It's just not the full title.
yeah, so you're saved on this one
Thank God.
from
Oh,
being called a
whew.
degenerate. You bullet dodged. I will clear you of these accusations.
I
You are
appreciate
absolved.
it. Thank God.
I'm going to cut that part out.
No, 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 no.
So my favorite characters. Oh, by the way, Connor, I sent you that Dante in
It
Discord.
looks very nice. Well done, man.
Thanks. I can kit bash bitches.
I'm proud of you.
I can't fucking
I
kit
did a
bash.
kit bash too.
Yeah. So Dante actually is one of my favorite characters, I think, from the books. The Dante book was really, really good. It's a glowing review there, but no, it starts off with him as he's a lad on ball or his ball secundus, I think he's on, and talks about just kind of like the struggles he goes through to try and become a space marine and get even to the Blood Angels Fortress Monastery, I think it is. And then it kind of jumps back and forth between him in the current times when he is Dante, and then when he was, I think Lewis was his name when he was before he was actually a Blood Angel. It was super good. And then the books after that, Devastation
Wait,
of Ball.
his name was Lewis.
Yeah, his name was Lewis before he was
Like
Dante.
spelled which way? Like the French way or English way?
Louis, I think.
Okay, French way.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
That's
like
funny.
Lou. He's like
Yeah.
Lou hanging down at the bowling alley.
yeah. No, he's he was like, shoved in the locker kind of kid, and turns into the
Oh, I've been there.
commander of the Imperium Nihilus. Yeah, for sure. So Dante is one of my favorites. Also, Eisenhorn. Love Eisenhorn.
Classic. Did you real quick before we depart from the Blood Angels? Did you guys ever read the James Swallow Blood Angels omnibus?
No,
Nope.
Oh,
I have it.
it is crazy. It is
So
crazy. Is all I have to say about it. Like,
I got it probably 20 years ago. And on Nick's recommendation, Nick's like, "Hey, this is on sale," and I tried to read it, and that was like my first foray into 40K like lore or books or anything, and it was real bad. I didn't enjoy it at all.
it's definitely like a different era. It's a book for sure. It raises some like questionable lore implications for the Blood Angels and like everything. But like, yeah, absolutely. It's definitely going back and reading the old Black Library stuff is always interesting. It's different.
Yeah, I have it. I think it's sitting on the shelf up here. Maybe I'll have to try it again. I'm sure I'll get just as far as I did and put it
You
away again.
you probably won't like it.
Oh, I
It's
don't
like
think I will.
it's
So,
not up to
um,
the current standard by any means.
so back to Eisenhorn though. Love Eisenhorn. Uh, just great character. Those books are. I feel like those books are almost like a Bond movie rather than like a 40K. Like it's not.
100%.
It's not bolter porn. It's like a secret agent shit.
Yeah, and I think it's like some people like call it a detective book, which it definitely has like, like um dick novel like themes, but like it's more of like secret agent than it is like detective.
Yeah, I I've listened to all of the Eisenhorn books, the Eisenhorn Ravenor, and the two Beckwin books, as well as the like short stories book, which was actually really good too. Fills in a lot of the gaps on those two. And also, when are we going to get the third Beckwin book? Like
Any day now.
I know
Same
he's
with
working
same
on
with
it.
Typhon.
He mentioned it in his most recent book.
in the like Siege of Terra book.
No, even more recent. His why am I blanking on the name now? But Interceptor City. He mentions it in that one, which was like an aeronautica book that I liked.
Gotcha. Because I know there's a whole like it's what Pandemonium is the name of the book, and there's a whole chapter in like one of the Siege of Terra books called Pandemonium.
Mhm.
Um, and there's characters from the Beckwin books that are very relevant that are in some of the Siege of Terror stuff too. So it's spans a very long time. But I I forgot about it because it's been I don't know it's been like 2 years since I read the Beckwin books. But that third Beckwin, that Pandemonium, is supposed to be out anytime now. No,
Any week now. I think it'll be out this fall. That's my prediction.
have they done their like big Black Library like preview thing that they usually do every year?
I feel like they did.
Because I feel like if we didn't see something or hear something
I
about it in
don't.
that,
I feel like they did it recently, but it was for last year's books or something. Maybe so. I'm not sure
well,
because what was there a Black Library model revealed yet? Was it the Commissar Squad?
mm, well, they had the Minkalesque one.
Yeah, was that specifically though the Black Library Celebration model? We need Cody. Cody would know.
Yeah, we do have the Black Library Celebration 2025 already that has
Oof.
come out. So,
So maybe
um,
next year then.
maybe next year. So fall next year.
That hurts. It hurts. It cuts me deep. I'm waiting for that book forever.
For real, for real. And like here's the thing. I read the Eisenhorn books, like in paperback back in the day, and then I came back to the Ravener books, and I listened to the Ravener books on audiobook, and I immediately purchased the Beckwin books. Like I couldn't stop listening to them. I would sit in my car to like wait to finish the chapter, which is not something I do. You know.
I was not as big a fan of Ravenor as I was Eisenhorn. He grew on me, but I didn't. I wasn't the biggest Ravenor fan.
I mean, Ravner has its ups and downs. I really like the Harlan Nail sections in there. Those are like like very detective fiction, and I think there's like a lot of like procedural stuff in the Eisenhorn books that's like really like it's not so Eisenhorn is spy, Ravener is detective, and then like Beckwin is like personal journey, and so like you have like a difference in like narrative style, and I feel like Ravner fits that like detective fiction um genre, and kind of like is like the spawn for like a lot of the Warhammer crime stuff personally.
So Tyler, sorry, did you say you listened to Ravenor and then Beckwin, or you read them?
I listen to them.
So was it as jarring to you as it was to me going from like Ravenor to Beckwin, where you had um, the for those who don't know the narrator is has a what you'd consider a male voice through Eisenhorn and Ravenor, and then since Beckwin, who's in the book a female, um, they switched to a female narrator in the Beckwin books, but you have characters that you've listened to for 6 to 7 books and heard their voices from Toby Longworth in the Beck or the Ravenor and Eisenhorn series that are now being done by someone else's voice, and it's wild. It was wildly jarring to me to hear the different
Yeah.
narrator in those books, like Harlan Nail, like going from
Mhm.
Nail in the books to Nail in the Beckwin books.
Yeah, definitely. Like I always try to take it as like the voice of the character. Like they're very much they feel like journal entries. A lot of these books. So like it's a little bit easier, especially because like the overall tone of Beckwin's slightly different. Although like it is always jarring. I talked about recently like finishing up like the Andrew Vax Burke series, and how like the last 2 books, 3 books are narrated by a different person after you get like a really strong narrator for like the books like 2 through 17, something like that, 2 through 16. And so like they're so good, and like that narrator like becomes Burke, and it becomes Michelle and all of the other characters that are like in that setting. And then to hear this new person who like takes up like a different tone, like in the way that they portray the characters, is different, like in a much more jarring way, I would say. um, because like you don't have that narrative shift like you do with say like the Beckwin series. It's still supposed to be the same person telling that story.
I got the same thing with Blackstone Fortress. So going from the first Blackstone Fortress book to the second one, they changed narrator, and so gosh, what's his name? What's the main guy? Um,
Janice Drake.
yeah,
Yeah.
Janice's voice was very different, and that was kind of weird and jarring to me too. So, but
So technically Janice Drake would be one of my descendants. We'd be blood related, because he's supposed to be of like the bloodline of like Sir Francis Drake, and like very distantly I'm related to that. So that's pretty cool.
so you'd be related to Nathan Drake too, then?
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely. Uh-huh.
from
So wait, have you played Uncharted 4, Chuck?
Yeah.
I have not.
Ah, okay.
Okay. I mean, you lay it on us, man. It's
They're
over a year
not
old.
actually related to Drake. That is the legend that Nathan Drake's long lost older brother, who then shows up in the fourth game, which they actually did surprisingly well. Like normally that's something you see and it's like stupid. It's something they came up together with when they were had to run away from the orphanage.
Okay.
So they're not. I believe I might be mixing it up because it's been a while since I played it. So maybe they are, but I think it was something his older brother kind of invented in order to kind of help cover for very young Nathan.
Connor, did you watch that movie?
I did actually just recently watch that movie. That movie was kind of fun, but it was weird because it's like that's way too young to be Nathan Drake. That's just Tom Holland, and then seeing Mark Wahlberg in it, it's like he's not Sully. What the fuck? That's just Mark Wahlberg.
Have you ever watched the
Mark
YouTube
Wahlberg
video?
is Sully. That's
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was
awesome.
it was supposed to be like their first adventure together, but it was really weird because it combined like all 3 game or 4 games together.
Have you seen the YouTube video with Nathan Fillion playing Nathan Drake?
Yeah, and how he would have done such a great job, or just not Chris Nolan, Nolan North, or whoever the original voice actor for Nathan Drake, how he looked like Nathan Drake for like 20 years before they decided to make the movie.
Yep.
That
Mm-hmm.
was just
Mm-hmm.
weird decisions, man.
The first 3 games are a masterpiece. I feel
Yeah,
like they're like some of
all
like
four of them
the
are good.
greatest.
I highly recommend the fourth one. It's like the best of them all because it's a really good like exploration of like the addiction of being a treasure hunter adventurer and how it's like destroying Nathan's life, but like in a really good way. And it's just a good game.
Relatable. Relatable.
Yeah.
I hate like that my adventures in treasure hunting are like slowly destroying my life. It's like
Yeah.
rough.
It is
It's
because
like
you want to
really
go
it's
find treasure.
yeah, but like like all of like the women and the danger, and like the gods, the ancient gods that you anger, like it's rough.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, if there was anybody that I knew that, if Tyler, if you came to me one day and were like, we were talking about treasure hunting or something, or some movie came up and you'd be like, yeah, actually, back in 2003, I actually spent some time in South America doing some treasure hunting. It was in between jobs at Circle K or what was the fast food? Not the fast food. The
Mhm.
if
I never
if
worked in food. Just to be clear.
Not fast food. The quick
Plaid
stop that
Pantry,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, Plaid Pantry. If you were like,
Yep.
yeah, between Plaid Pantry and when you were
Yeah.
doing like
QT,
freelance
yep.
IT stuff, you were like, yeah, I went to South America for 6 months to look for the idol of the blah blah blah. I'd be like, all right, yeah, no, I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean,
if there was anybody,
I mean, like, I wouldn't turn it down if anyone has an opportunity to do something like that. Like, we'll scope out like the contractuals and like, I'm down. Like, sign me up.
well, gentlemen, any other people from the 40K universe, like characters that just you really want
I
to
mean,
kick in
like,
there?
we got to shut out like the entire like Night Lord's omnibus. We got what's his name? Fucking, I can't even remember his
Dallas,
name. Talos right now. We got Septimus. We got Octavia. We got what are all the other Marines' names? We got Mercurian. Um,
grumpiest dreadnought ever.
absolutely, he's so good though. We got what's the guy that's like possessed by corn? Can't remember his name right now.
I can't remember, but I'll
Uzas.
go.
Uzas is my favorite. I think like Uzas is like way deeper than like the first glance like gives you. Um, like all the characters in that are like really really good. Like like they're all hateable. Like they're all the worst characters that have ever been written. Like the worst people that have been written as like main characters, and like you understand them a little bit. Like you understand their villainy.
I'll just go back to the fact that I couldn't get through the second book and it was boring.
Okay,
So yeah, no,
yeah. Okay, big manager.
yeah,
I That's all right, Chuck. I would shout out Kyle Simlex from probably one of my favorite like mini series. He's a Imperial like propaganda director, and I think he's a pretty interesting character in terms of like in the first book, it's all about him realizing all this propaganda is just propaganda and coming to terms with that. Plus, he's got probably the coolest idea for service goals I've ever heard, which is essentially he's got 3 service goals that he uses to help make the movies, and they're all made out of dead heads from previous directors, which is just so cool. I love that. Perfect use of service goals.
Yeah. And then like we got to shout out Zidorov. Like we touched on Warhammer Crime briefly. But like Zidorov is like super super cool detective in the Warhammer Crime series. Like just like really all round interesting. You get to see like a different side of 40K through the Warhammer Crime stuff, and he's not so squeaky clean. I think he's a lot of fun.
I have to go. Caiaphas Cain from the Caiaphas Cain novels. He's just those books are great because he's a hero, but he's a hero who doesn't want to be a hero and does everything he can to like stay out of the gunfights and ends up in the gunfights. So, and it's funny because my picks are all like it'd be like if I was like best basketball players ever, and Tyler's always got deep cuts, and I'm like Michael Jordan, Steph Curry, LeBron James. Just I pick the basic bitches on the top.
You gotta hit the classics though. Like
Well,
no one can deny like Michael Jordan or LeBron. Magic. You know, Larry Bird. Like all classics. But like you gotta go with the deep cut sometimes.
so it's where you got to pull out like the
Manute
Spud
Ball.
Webb.
Spud Webb. What, shortest player ever? Right.
Yeah,
I mean, like he
like
was a
probably shorter
force
than you,
though.
Connor.
I have no idea who you're talking about. I know
Yeah,
the first names, never heard of this guy.
He,
yeah,
he was like 5'4".
That is
He
shorter
was
than
a
me. That's pretty
guard.
crazy.
and
He
he and
was
he could and he could dunk too.
When
he
did
could
he
dunk.
play? Was this like the first year basketball was around?
90,
No, this is like
94.
80s,
Oh wow.
90s maybe.
Yeah, it was like late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, he played all the way to 98 with Orlando, but yeah, he was a wee little lad.
Orlando Bloom was in the NBA?
Yeah.
Yep.
Um, right after he got big in Pirates, they're like, give this guy a shot,
Uh-huh.
like, and
Before he was Lord of the Rings.
yeah. So, but well, gentlemen, thanks for joining me tonight. So
Yeah, it was a good time.
yeah, dicehorror.bigcartel.com. Sounds like Tyler. Sounds like you're gonna be wrapping up your legalized drugs and murder.
Yep, that's finally going to print. Thank you guys for all of your patience on that. We finally hit the order limit on there. It's going to be exciting. Just a real limited run on shirt, and I'm excited to get it out to all y'all. And then I got some more stuff coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, patreon.com/Vox Cascadia podcast. We're gonna go backwards this tonight. Ryan Keaton, Scott was up at the tournament up at Comics Keep too. Zach, Rob McLeod, Greg, Zarin, sorry about your loss, Zarin, Holly, Nick, Sean, Sam, Cody, and Jenna. I don't know who that is. She doesn't listen anymore anyway, so I can talk shit about her.
That seems mean.
She's like 20 episodes behind, so
Oh, that's all right. You're
she'll
doing
get to
fine,
this
Jenna.
someday.
Don't be mean to her. She's nice.
You don't know the real Jenna.
She defends me, so she's nicer to me than you are, so I have to like defend her.
She also
Baby
did
boy
coin the
Connor.
term. She also did coin the term "little baby Connor."
I don't
so-
mind that term. That's endearing.
LBC.
Not the way she says it.
Oh,
Would you get an LBC tattoo like the classic like taking care of business like instead of TBC with like lightning bolt, TBC and be LBC?
maybe I'd have to get some more tattoos first. But
I
then,
mean, just like one. It'd be like small, like just like on your forearm, like about like less than like a 2-inch radius. Keaton, I know you do this for us. I'll pay for it.
CascadiaTabletop.com for information on CritCon. We're chugging away at that, so hopefully we'll have a launch for that soon. At Lowbrow Minis on Instagram, at Spanaway on everything, at Painting Cave Minis on Instagram for me. Join us in the Discord. If you can't help support with the Patreon, totally understand. Like us, share us. Apparently, those are all things that help us bump up in the algorithm. So we're having a good time doing this. And if we can share it with more people, let us know. Also, if you have ideas for content you want to hear or somebody wants to interview, like let us know. Reach out to us. So Connor, have a safe trip. Are you packed already? You haven't even started packing, have you?
no, God no. I have everything laid out. It's just not in the suitcase. But
Drive me fucking nuts.
I am totally fine. This has been my system for 20 years, and it's never failed me once.
Okay.
When do you leave?
Tomorrow morning.
Okay. And you haven't packed a single thing?
I mean, not really, but it's just clothes.
Oh,
It's the
yeah.
only thing I'm bringing.
Oh yeah.
I have.
How
I know what I'm grabbing.
How
I'm
many days
grabbing,
are you gone?
4 days.
4 days. Okay. How many pairs of underwear and socks are you taking?
5 of, or I guess 4 of each because I'm wearing a pair tomorrow. But
Interesting.
no,
Interesting choice.
5 pairs because you always bring one extra in case you ever shit your pants on the airport.
Like the joys of youth. Like
What? Do you not have a primal fear of the shitting your pants? Like that's like the most embarrassing thing I can imagine.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Okay.
that's why I'm taking at least 6 on a 4-day trip.
I pack like I'm going to shit myself twice a
Well,
day.
see,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not. I'm bringing
You've
like
been
just the
there.
5 pairs, but we're in a major city, so if worse comes to worse, and I shit myself like twice, then I can just run to a Target and grab like a 3-pair pack of Hanes or something,
Mm.
Well, I can't wait for you to get back, and we can do a whole 45-hour long of your bowel movements in Minnesota because they didn't go great in Milwaukee. So,
Do you guys remember those like kind of creepy Michael Jordan commercials, like with the ladies who'd like sit on the bench and they'd be like, boxers or briefs?
I do actually, yeah.
No,
And then Michael
I
Jordan
feel like
would
this is
walk
probably.
up, and then Michael Jordan would walk up and he'd be like, "It's boxer briefs, ladies."
Yeah, and then he just like
Yeah.
slap him in the face.
Uh-huh.
You slap women.
Anyways, I love you guys. Good night.